I Don't Need No Damn Therapist by Paul Ruch.
With age comes wisdom. And although I'm not that old, I do have wisdom. Also, it helps if you're smart to begin with. And believe me, I've got that. Is it a burden to be smart and wise and always right? Not for me. But it seems to be for a lot of other people. I tell them right to their face, they are inferior. Let them adjust. Actually, I enjoy knowing most everything. To be honest, I had good teachers. I had an excellent work ethic. Many nights I stayed up late reading and studying. For me, it was a joy to learn and be educated. My mind is a national as well as a natural treasure. So why are so many people annoyed with me? People have to accept that I know more than they do. Simply stated, I am special. Does that make me superior? Of course it does. My own daughter wants me to see her therapist. Can you imagine? I told her, I don't need no damn therapist. My daughter. I should have drowned her at birth, but too late now.
Hello, Dad. How are you today?
Oh, perfect, as always.
Have you given it any thought about our conversation of yesterday?
I was just reminiscing about that very thing.
I'm glad, Dad. You really have to adjust your attitude.
I do? Why?
Why? Your response is why you should see my therapist. She would help you discover a new you. And it would be a person you would enjoy being and a person others would enjoy being around.
Such crap. I'm smarter than any therapist. As a matter of fact, give me an hour with her and I'll straighten her out.
Dad, you're impossible.
Me? I can't believe my own daughter is seeing a therapist. You have the perfect father. You have the genes of the smartest man on the planet. And you feel the need to seek help? Why? It must be the fault of your mother.
No, Dad. It isn't because of Mom. This may be difficult for you to hear, but the reason I'm in therapy is because of you and my stepmothers.
So you're blaming me for the emotional turmoil you're dealing with? You think it was easy for me? I was lonely. After your mother left me for that marriage counselor who was trying to help us resolve our marriage difficulties, I was perplexed. I was a single father with a soon-to-be ex-wife who moved in with that marriage counselor. And by the way, the man had the gall to send me a bill for thousands for services rendered. Did you know that?
No, I'm sorry, Dad.
And after I paid that bill for the services rendered, your mother and the counselor left for a 3-week Mediterranean cruise.
That was very insensitive of Mom.
You think? I was a single father with a young daughter to look after. I was confronted with problems in every direction. Your school, your meals, the house. There was so much to do for you.
Are you saying
overwhelmed?
all of this was my fault?
Of course not, but I had the responsibility of running a household, and you know how very uncomfortable that made me, especially anything I might have to do in the kitchen.
I was aware, since I did most of the cooking. Your superior IQ didn't do you much good in the world of pots and pans. Then you hired Grace, a lovely lady who was a grandmother, as a live-in. That was a great choice. We lived and ate well, and she was someone I could talk to. When she was here, I had someone who cared about me.
I made a brilliant decision to bring her into our life.
It was a wonderful year, but then it ended.
Yes, I was lonely.
How lonely could you have been? Most weekends and holidays you were on your little trips with a friend. Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, or Las Vegas.
But honey, I didn't want to bring any of those women home. I didn't think it would be appropriate. I was concerned for your feelings.
What about that weekend you went to Coeur d'Alene with that gal named Trixie? Remember that?
That was an unfortunate event, and I have said how sorry I am.
By leaving Trixie's car in our driveway, Trixie's husband didn't have a difficult time tracking her down. While he was threatening Grace with grave physical damage, I called 911. The cops got here quickly, and they shut down our entire block. All the neighbors were out, and the TV stations awaiting your return. It was almost amusing when Trixie was reunited with her husband. He couldn't decide between strangling his wife or killing you. But the cops wouldn't let him do either one, so in frustration he just drove off, leaving his wife with you. Remember that?
Do we have to talk about this now?
Yes. Trixie was surprised when you wouldn't let her move into the house. You called a taxi, gave her a $50, and sent her on her way. All captured on TV. You were the feature story on the 5 o'clock news.
I have told you how sorry I was.
The tragedy of all this for me was that Grace felt she had to leave. She was extremely traumatized. And for me, this was sad.
I'm sorry, honey.
Back to pizza and TV dinners for a while there. But you were home most weekends. Then things changed again.
Yes, I decided to get married and settle down. I was determined to give you a stable home life.
You needed a wife, Playboy Bunny beautiful, and a loving new mother for your daughter. So I got a Shoshana.
Well, I wanted my wife to be attractive.
So beautiful is the major criteria in finding a new wife?
What, you want me to marry an ugly woman? She was 36, 24, 34, with an award-winning smile, sparkling blue eyes, and a pleasant personality. She was perfect.
Your perfect wife wasn't much more than 10 years older than me. We were shopping one day at the mall, and the clerk thought it was nice my older sister was helping me find clothes.
I thought she would be good for you, and she did have strong religious convictions.
Strong religious convictions! A menorah in every room! How many times did we have gefilte fish? Every day she would raise the spatula to the heavens and talk to God and her fundraising. I had to knock on doors for money for B'nai B'rith and Hadassah. Then finally, good news.
And what was that?
She left you just months prior to my 13th birthday.
That was good news?
Actually, it was great news. I didn't have to go through with that bat mitzvah ceremony. Learning Hebrew was the worst experience of my life.
I didn't know you were unhappy.
With Shoshana gone, life was good for a time, but my joy was short-lived.
What do you mean?
Well, apparently, you got lonely and felt the need to get married again.
Oh.
So for my 14th birthday, I got a Maria, a new stepmother, the Italian Mamma Mia. They have to be beautiful with that perfect body. A different religion, but a clone of Shoshana.
Well, that isn't true. Maria was 38, 26, 36.
For you, I guess those 2 inches were important. Thank you for correcting me. When Shoshana left, she took all the menorahs with her. With Maria, we had a crucifix in every room. Also, we had a new Sabbath. Saturday was now a fun day. But with Maria, heaven forbid, I should laugh on a Sunday. And fish every Friday for dinner. Thank God at least the Catholics hadn't discovered gefilte fish. And then there was the fundraising again. Do you know how many Catholic charities there were? Do you?
Well,
Don't ask. And do you want to know what was the worst?
tell me.
Confession. If nothing else, confession taught me to lie well. And Maria, just like Shoshana, was always talking to God. But she didn't need a spatula. Do you remember that room Maria took over? She called it her shrine. It had over 100 statues, and those she talked to daily. That room is where she had her communion with the saints. With my screwed up religious life as a youngster, is it any wonder I'm in therapy? And Unitarian?
Like a